Hello, this is Angela with Parker's Permaculture. I am in my kitchen today and I'm going to be showing you why and how I steam my roving before I spin it on my spinning wheel. Now, this is a technique that I learned from some ladies from the Yaquina Fiber Arts Guild 17 years ago when I lived on the Central Oregon coast. If you have wool that is somewhat matted, a tiny bit felted, and difficult to spin, difficult to even separate out before you spin it, there is a technique that can restore loft to your yarn and make it much easier to spin. And that's what I want to show you today. It's really easy. It just takes a few minutes. You can see here I have 8 ounces of Blueface Leicester that I just put through this process. It is now lofty and beautiful and going to be easy to spin. And I'm going to do the same with this Malabrigo Nube. Now, Malabrigo has roving in all of the beautiful array of colors that their yarns come in. It's about the same price per ounce as buying the yarn, so it's not any cheaper. It's just a fun way to spin their beautiful colorways. I found this 50% off, so I got 2 of them, and I want to try spinning with it. It was a little bit of a splurge for me, but I have spun through almost all of the fiber in my stash other than this Blueface Leicester, some alpaca that I haven't spun yet, and this. So Malabrigo Nube is notorious for coming rather matted and being difficult to spin without prepping the fiber first. And I was encouraged to see that some folks in the Spinners Facebook group that I'm in had success with this age-old technique as well. And so I'm not sure that many people know about it. It's so quick and easy. I thought, you know what, let's take a minute and show you guys today. So let me flip the camera around and talk you through the process.
First, let's take a look at the Blueface Leicester that I steamed earlier so we can understand why it's important to undertake this process with our roving. On the left, you can see the dense, compacted fibers before steaming. On the right, the lofty, draftable fibers afterward.
Okay, obviously I regret not showing you what it looked like before, but this 8 ounces of Blueface Leicester came in this little bag. And after steaming, you can see how much there is. The loft has returned. It's no longer matted and compacted. It's going to be really easy to spin. And now I'm ready to move on to the Malabrigo.
In my experience, steaming wool, especially wool that's been stored for a long time, not only makes it a more enjoyable product to spin, but it also results in a more consistent thickness of yarn.
All right, you're gonna need 3 things out of your kitchen. You're gonna need a small stock pot or sauce pot, and it's better to have it kind of a narrower diameter and deep. And then you're gonna need a colander or steaming basket. I really like this big colander, and I'm gonna show you why in just a second. And then you'll also need a lid that is about the same diameter as your colander itself. So I'm gonna take my pot. To that pot, I've added water, but you notice it doesn't go all the way up. It is gonna be at a full boil, and I'm going to place my colander on top. Be careful, everything here is hot, y'all. So my colander is just resting on the top, and that's going to allow the steam to permeate up through the colander, steam my fiber, and help relax and open up those fibers so it's easier to spin with. I don't want my fiber to be sat down in the water. I want it to sit above and just get steamed. That's why having a wide colander works really well. And then I'm going to put the fiber in here, put the lid on, and try and capture a little bit of the steam and let it steam for just a few minutes. I've seen some folks say they steam it for as long as 10 minutes. I have not done the Nube yet, but in my previous runs of doing lots of other fibers, it really takes like 3 to 5 minutes max. So let's try it with this Nube.
When I open up a bag or container of any fiber, here I am unbraiding the Nube. I'm carefully examining it for any signs of moth damage or any flaws, any excess vegetable matter that shouldn't be there. I'm making sure that the dye job was done correctly, and I'm just giving it a once over before I begin steaming.
Okay, you can see here I've just undone the braid, how matted this is and how difficult it would be to spin it like this. The fibers are really tight and close, compacted, matted down. It's really soft though.
Editing Angela here. I'm not sure what happened to the footage adding the Nube, but here you can see the same process with the Blueface Leicester. Simply add it to the steamer basket, put the lid on, leave it for 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, let's give it a little look here and see how it's doing. It's okay if a little condensation gets on it on the way. Look how much this fiber is opening up, lofty and loose. You want to look through and see how it's doing everywhere. This is hot, so just be careful. Oh yeah, it's getting really fluffy. The fibers are naturally expanding. During this stage, you don't want to abrade it or in any way twist it. Some bits on the edges are not quite as open as the rest, so I'm going to just kind of flip it around. Ouch. You can see how much of the basket it's filling. When I put it in, it probably only took up about half. Just let it go for a couple more minutes here. Okay, I think we're about done here. Fluffy. Now let's look at the steamed fiber compared to the original. Wool is such an amazing natural fiber. Its properties never cease to amaze me. Look at how that steam has fluffed and opened up the fibers. It's going to be much easier to draft and spin into yarn. I was originally thinking of doing a fractal spin, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is perhaps a Navajo ply, which I think will help bring out the beautiful depth of colors and not muddy them.
Okay, I'm all done, as you can see here. I need to get a fire going in the wood stove now because I have steamed up all of the windows in the house and I need to dry it out. So I'm hoping to spend a little bit of time this afternoon sitting in front of a crackling fire and beginning to spin. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do the Malabrigo first or if I'm going to do the Blueface Leicester first. And I'm not sure what I'm going to knit with it when I'm all done. It's just short of 1 pound of wool total between the two of them. The Malabrigo is actually 3.98 ounces each, which is just like, okay, not 4 ounces, that's okay. And the Blueface Leicester is 8 ounces. So I will have a lot of knitting in my future, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do stripes with the plain Blueface Leicester, the undyed natural, and this beautiful, beautiful colorway, Diana from Malabrigo. I don't know yet. If you have thoughts on what I should knit with this when I'm all done or how I should ply it when I'm done with the singles, I would love to hear about it. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you acquire roving that is compacted, matted, somewhat felted, you can recover it with steaming. You don't have to throw it away. You don't have to fight with it on the wheel. You don't have to get stressed out. Spinning should be relaxing, enjoyable, shouldn't hurt your hands. It's no fun to spin with matted, tough wool that doesn't draft well. So take a few minutes and recover that wool on your stove and enjoy your future spinning projects. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'll be back real soon.